Welcome all. I'm Dr. M. Shuganti, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Dr. N.G.P. Arts and Science College, Coimbatore. Today we are discuss about the course name General Chemistry 1, Unit 2, Chemical Bonding. Content of this lecture: define chemical bonding, theories of chemical bonding, types of chemical bonding, what is ionic bond, and factors influencing the formation of ionic bond. What is chemical bonding? It means the formation of a chemical bond between two or more atoms, molecules, or ions to give rise to the chemical compound. These bonds kept atoms together in the resulting compound. What's the important theories on chemical bonding? Mainly for the two theories, Albert Coasel and Gilbert Lewis were explained the formation of chemical bonds successfully in the year 1916. These explain chemical bonding on the basis of the innerness of noble gases. Atom can be the positively charged, that is a kernel, that means the nucleus plus the inner electrons, and the outer shell. The outer shell can accommodate a maximum of 8 electrons only. These 8 electrons present in the outer shell occupy the corners of a cube which surround the kernel. Mainly for the atoms having the configuration 8 electrons in the outermost shell, the symbols the stable configuration. The stable configuration by forming chemical bonds with other atoms. The chemical bonds can be formed either positive or negative, or either by gaining or losing an electrons, or some cases due to the sharing of electron with the own molecule. For example of the gaining and or losing of electrons, sodium chloride and magnesium chloride. Sharing of an electron, example fluorine. Only the electrons present in the outer shell, that known as the valence electrons, take part in the formation of the chemical bonds. Lewis used for specific notations better known as the Lewis symbol to represent these valence electrons. Lewis dot is the Lewis specialized characteristics symbol of represent the number of valence electrons in that atom. Lewis symbol of lithium have 1 electron, oxygen have 6 electrons, and neon have 8 electrons. So lithium have 1 dot, oxygen have 6 dots, and neon have 8 dots. Halogens can form negatively charged ions by gaining an electron, whereas alkali metals can form positively charged ions by losing an electron. The negatively charged ions and positively charged ions have a noble gas configuration, that is the 8 electrons in the outermost shell. The generally electronic configuration of noble gases is given by Ns to Np6. As unlike charge attract each other, these unlike charged particles are held together by a strong force of electrostatic attraction existing between them. For example, magnesium chloride. The magnesium and chlorine ions are held together by force of electrostatic attraction. This kind of chemical bonding existing between two unlike charged particles is known as an electrovalent bond. Types of chemical bonds. So mainly chemical bonds is classified by four types: ionic bonds, covalent bond, hydrogen bonds, and polar bonds. These types of bonds in chemical bonding are formed from the loss, gain, or sharing of electrons between two atoms or molecules. Ionic bond. Ionic bond is defined as the strong electrostatic forces of attraction between a positively and negatively charged species is called an electrovalent or ionic bond. The positively and negatively charged ions are aggregated in an order arrangements called the crystal lattice. That crystal lattice is stabilized by the energy called the lattice enthalpy. Conditions for the formation of an ionic bond. The low ionization energy of the atom forming the cation. High electron gain enthalpy of an atom forming the anion. High negative lattice enthalpy of the crystal formed. The ionic bond is formed between a metal cation and a non-metal anion. For example, lithium have the metal cation, fluorine have the non-metal anion. Fluorine is a halogen. So the electron transfer, lithium have the outermost will have one electrons. Lithium transfer an electron to fluorine. So the both the resulting ions become the electrically charged and have complete stable electron shell. In outermost cell, fluorine have the 7 electrons. The lithium transfer to one electron to fluorine atom. So the outermost cell of fluorine have the 8 electrons. So the complete the outermost cell 8 electrons. The positive and negative ions, the lithium plus cation and the fluorine minus ion, are electrostatically attracted to one another, resulting in an ionic bond. Factors influencing the formation of ionic bond. First one, ionization energy. It is defined as the amount of energy required to remove the most loosely bound electron from an isolated gaseous atom of an element. The lesser the ionization energy, the greater is the formation of a cation. Next, electronic affinity is defined as the amount of energy released when an electron is added to an isolated gaseous atom of an element. The higher the ionization energy during this process, it will be the formation of an anion. Lattice energy is defined as the amount of energy released when cations and anions are brought from infinity to their respective equilibrium sites in the crystal lattice to form 1 mole of the ionic compound. For example, sodium and chlorine atoms have the sodium have the cation and the chlorine atom becomes the chlorine minus anion. Due to their opposite charges, they attract each other to form an ionic lattice. The formula, that the ratio of positive and negative ions in the lattice, is sodium chloride. These ions are arranged in solid sodium chloride in a regular three-dimensional arrangement. One sodium atom and chlorine atom, then sodium atom and chlorine atom. So these are the three-dimensional arrangement or the lattice. That is the 2Na plus Cl2 gives NaCl. Thank you.